third grade writers. So today I want to teach you that fairy tale writers show rather than tell, as they use descriptive language to show characters' feelings and actions in their story. So I want to show you a part of my story where I was telling the reader how a character was feeling or what they were doing rather than showing the reader how they were feeling and what they were doing. So here I'm going to start reading right here. Suddenly, another swirl of light and colors descended, and both the 6-foot monster and Big Pug disappeared. Now Little Pug was truly terrified. Where could Big Pug be? Her instincts told her that he was safe and sound. Perhaps the 6-foot monster just sent him home, she thought to herself. After gathering her courage, Little Pug continued her walk to Big Pug's house. So in this part, I'm telling the reader that Little Pug is truly terrified. I write it well, but I am just telling the reader that she's terrified. Now I'm going to rewrite that part so that I'm actually showing the reader that Little Pug is terrified rather than just telling them that she's terrified. So the first thing I'm going to do as I work on rewriting that part to show the reader how Little Pug is feeling is I'm going to brainstorm what it would feel like and what a person would see if somebody was really terrified. So I imagine that if somebody's terrified, you'd see that they have wide eyes, their legs might be trembling, their stomach would feel all twisted in knots, they would be sweaty and they'd want to run away, but maybe their feet wouldn't move. So after I brainstormed what it felt like to be terrified, I was ready to rewrite this part of my writing, and this is what I came up with. So instead of now Little Pug was truly terrified, this is what I wrote. Little Pug's legs trembled and her stomach was twisted in knots as she thought to herself, where could Big Pug be? She looked all around with wide eyes and beads of sweat dripping down her forehead. Every part of her wanted to run away, but her feet wouldn't move. She knew she had to find Big Pug. So there, as you can see, I used my brainstorm where I thought about what it would feel like to be terrified to rewrite this section and show my reader that Little Pug was terrified. I didn't say anywhere in here now that she's terrified, but I show the reader, ooh, yeah, Little Pug must be really scared in this part because her stomach's twisted, she's sweating, and her eyes are really wide. So I can imagine in my head as the reader that Little Pug is really scared or terrified. Now this also applies to actions that you describe in your story. So down here, I write, after gathering her courage, Little Pug continued her walk to Big Pug's house. Now people can walk in many ways, and just saying that Little Pug is walking doesn't really help the reader to picture Little Pug walking down the street or how she's walking. You can walk in a happy way, you can walk in a scared way, you can walk in an excited way. There's so many different ways to walk. So I brainstormed to myself, how would Little Pug be walking right now? So I wrote this list. I said, walk. Little Pug is really scared at this point. So what would somebody see if Little Pug were walking right now? They might see that Little Pug was dragging her feet, looking all around, stopping a lot and making sure she's safe, and probably listening to everything around her. So after I brainstormed that list, how would Little Pug be walking? I was ready to rewrite this part of my writing. This is what I wrote. So instead of she continued her walk, I would write, Little Pug slowly dragged one foot over another, pausing every so often to glance over her shoulder and make sure she was safe. As you can see, I'm painting a picture in my mind, and the reader gets the idea that Little Pug is walking, but they can see much more clearly how Little Pug is walking in my show version. So today your job is to find a place in your writing where you told the reader how a character felt and rewrite it to show the reader how the character feels in that section instead. You'll do just what I did. You'll brainstorm for the feeling, everything that somebody would see and everything that would be going on in that character's body when they're feeling that feeling. Then you will rewrite it to really show the reader. You'll also find a place where you told the reader an action that a character was doing and rewrite it so you really show your reader how the character is doing that action. Again, just like I did, you'll pick an action, a simple action like walk, and then think to yourself, how is the character really feeling in this section, and what would somebody see them doing? You'll brainstorm a list and then you'll rewrite it. You can do this using sticky notes if you have them, or you can just get extra paper and tape it, or draw arrows on your writing to include your rewrites of those parts. Happy writing today, third graders. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Talk to you soon. Bye.